Hello, we're back in the Ribble Valley Group kitchen today, and we've mixed things up slightly by letting you choose what we'll be cooking. So for those that don't know, we run a poll last week asking viewers what you would like to see, and to be honest, as much as I love lamb, I'm happy to say winner winner chicken dinner. What I've decided to show you is our recipe for a garlic chicken Kiev served with chips and peas. I think everybody's had their nan cook them chicken Kievs at some point or other, but instead of buying it in, we're going to go through it from start to finish. You'll have to let me know what you think. So let's get started. What you'll need is some chicken breasts, breadcrumbs, butter, garlic puree, eggs, flour, shop bought chips and garden peas. First of all, we're going to make the garlic butter. Pop this in your microwave for about 30 seconds. All you want to do is soften it up. You don't want to melt it completely, just soften it up a little bit. So now we've melted the butter ever so slightly. I was a little bit more than I should have done, but it doesn't matter. I'll show you what to do to make up for it. So we're going to add the garlic puree to this. So just half of a dipping pot or something like that of garlic puree. And we've just picked some herbs out of our herb garden here. So all I'm going to do is just roughly chop that. You don't want to bruise them or chop them too fine or anything like that. Add all of those in there and give it a good little mix up. And you really want to combine all of that together nicely. And the smell from that butter is incredible. It's really nice just with some bread as well. If you have any butter left over, just put a little bit of this herb garlic butter with some bread as a starter. Lovely. So now we've got all that combined, what we're doing, we're going to make a butter sausage, as I like to call it. So what you want to do is grab your cling film. I'll get all of this out of the way. So grab your cling film, open it up and get it on your worktop. Two layers of cling film on there. Make sure you press them together nice and tight, and then you want to put your butter inside it. And spread that out down the middle like that. That's done with. So now we've got the butter in the middle of the cling film. You're just going to fold your cling film over the top, flatten it down on the other side and push all of your butter across this nice tight sausage cylindrical side. Roll that up like so, and then hold it together and roll it up again to create a nice little cylinder like that. And then you want to put this in your fridge for at least an hour so that it sets up nicely and we can cut pieces out of it to put inside your chicken Kiev. It's now time to mince that chicken. Now I like to wear some blue gloves for this because I just don't like touching the chicken with my bare hand, to be honest. So I like to season my chicken before we put it into the mixer so that we can really get some salt, pepper and a little bit of ground ginger into that chicken. So you know, give it a good season over the top. We will season it again once we've minced it, but I just like to get everything in there as well. So now we're going to pop that into your mincer. So being a commercial kitchen, we have a mincer with a mixer, and you can attach everything together and do lots of different things with our mixer. But you can always buy a mixer in your local supermarket with the mincing attachment. If you can't do that, you can always go to your local butchers, ask them for 500 or 600 grams of minced chicken and they'll be more than happy to give you that. Now it's time for the filling of your chicken Kiev. So we're going to grab that butter, that nice cylindrical set garlic and herb butter that we made earlier. We're going to cut it into threes. So that's one, that's two, and that's three. These two, you can just pop them away, put them in your fridge. You've got a nice bit of butter for your bread, for more chicken Kievs if you want to make more. So pop them to one side. Then we're going to cut this down, and what you want to do is you want to cut it into 4 pieces. So you cut it in half, then in half again. So then you end up with a nice bit of garlic and herb butter ready for moulding the chicken around the outside of it for a good size homemade chicken Kiev. So now we've done that, we can get rid of that bit. You want to put your gloves on because the next bit is chicken time. I do love a good chicken Kiev. It's like comfort food, the ultimate thing. Nothing better than getting home, having chicken Kiev, chips and peas or beans or anything. Lovely. And you can also, instead of you doing a garlic butter, just do a plain butter with some cheese and ham in there as well. A nice ham and cheese chicken Kiev, lovely. So, grab your chicken like we've got there. A bit more salt and pepper in there. So because the chicken mince is quite wet, what we want to do is we need to make it so that we can use it to mould, and we also need to dry it out slightly. So from your breadcrumbs, you're just going to put a little handful of breadcrumb in there, maybe a pinch more, and then 1 egg as well. Get that in there. Once you've done that, you want to give it a good mix round, making sure that it all becomes quite sticky and like you could make something from it. It's not going to fall apart at every hurdle. So if it looks a little bit wet, you can always add a little bit more breadcrumb to it, which I think we might need on there. Touch more. Lovely. That's what we want. You can see how that's dried out now a little bit more. It's starting to become a little bit more mouldable. So apparently the chicken Kiev dates back to the 1800s from Russia. I didn't know that until today. Lovely. See, now it stands up nicely, nice and firm. It's all looking good. Now you want to grab a piece of your butter and a little bit of your chicken mince, a good little handful there, like that, and literally just press it in like that and start to mould that chicken around your butter. Giving it a good layer of chicken around the outside. And because we're going to pané these as well, you don't need to go mad on the size of it, because when you put the flour, egg and the breadcrumb on it as well, they just get bigger again. So make sure you got a little spots of butter just there, just pop a little bit more chicken mince onto that. Once you've done that, you just want to pop that onto your tray, because what we didn't need to do is we need to set them as well, so they become a bit more pliable. So to set your chicken, once you've made your Kievs like that, you need to set them overnight, or if you're in a rush and want them for tea tonight, an hour to an hour and a half, that's good, that's all right. So you'll be able to tell when they've set up, because they just become firm and you'll be able to pick it up and it's nice and easy to move and not too squashy or anything. Once your chicken Kievs have set up, what we're going to do is we're going to pané them. Now pané means to put them through flour, egg and breadcrumb, and sometimes what I like to do is to go back into the egg and then into your breadcrumb again, but I'll show you how to do this later on. We've just brought the chicken from the fridge. It's been in there about 2 hours. They've set up nicely. You can tell how they're a little bit more firm and ready to go. Now we're going to make the pané. So in one tray we've got just plain flour, another tray we've got breadcrumbs. We like to use panko breadcrumbs, which is just a nice chunkier and get a nice light coloured golden on there. It looks really good. Eggs, you want to crack these eggs into your middle tray. 1, 2, and your third one. And then just add yourself a nice little splash of milk in there as well. Pop them eggs and give it a good whisk round. Use a whisk if you want, but I just like to minimise washing up. Give them a good ones like that. There we go. Now for the fun part. Again, I like my gloves on. Grab your Kiev, just give it a bit more of a remould, round like this. Into your flour, making sure you completely cover all that Kiev in flour. And you can do this gluten-free as well, so instead of using normal breadcrumbs and normal flour, you can get some gluten-free flour, gluten-free breadcrumbs, all available in supermarkets and things now. you just use the gluten-free breadcrumbs in the mix like we did earlier with the normal ones. Give that a mix. Make sure you cover that all with the egg as well. Being very wary that sometimes they become very, very playable once you start wetting them and things like that. Make sure all of that Kiev has got egg on it, otherwise your breadcrumbs are not going to stick. Get that into your breadcrumbs. Give it a good coating of them. So you can see how that's nice and coated now, but as we said earlier, I like to go again to give it a really good coat on the outside of breadcrumb. So paneing is a great thing to do. You can always just cut some chicken up, panee it, and then suddenly you've got some nice breaded chicken fingers, things like that. Fish cakes, you can do fish cakes like this as well. Make some fish cakes with some mash, put some fish through it, panee them. Panee anything, goat's cheese, anything at all. So there's one. We're going to do that again with this one. Don't worry about getting breadcrumbs on the rest of it. So straight in there, nice good coating on there. A good bit of egg on there as well. Make sure you always reshape them as well. You don't want to end up with a flat Kiev. Now for the second coat. Now for your final one. Tell you what you can always do as well with a nice panee is if you get a chicken breast, bat that out nice and flat and then panee that, fry that, you end up with a really good piece of chicken for a chicken burger, like a certain brand of chicken burger with an hash brown and piece of cheese, lovely. So we're just using the rest of that egg up now, get it all over you, all over there. And there we go. So give them a good roll round. And there's your Kievs. All ready to go. We're going to cook them in the oven on 180 degrees. You want them so that they go nice and golden brown. We're all done now. It's been half an hour. The food's been in the oven 180 degrees for half an hour. The chips are done. I've thrown the peas in, and now for my favourite part, which is dishing up and eating, which is always good. You see how you got a nice golden coat on that breadcrumb, and it's nice and firm as well. And a little bit of the butter started to escape, but we're not worried about that. Pop that down on there. A nice shop bought fries, you can't beat some of them. Just put a little bit of salt on them actually. Grab them peas, fill that plate up with peas. Oh yeah, the more the merrier on there. Maybe fries. And then, last but not least, the main ingredient, the Kiev. And that, pure comfort food, chicken Kiev, chips and peas. Can't beat it. Now, my favourite part, the tasting. All you can smell in here is garlic. It smells amazing. Oh yeah. Cut that open nicely there like that. Oh yeah. You see all that butter coming out of there? Lovely. Legendary small piece. Now that I've finished my small portion of garlic chicken Kiev, I can tell you about our next episode where we're going to take the show on the road and cook some more of our delicious food out and about in our pop-up kitchen. As ever, if you liked today's episode, then like and share this, and I'd be really interested to see how you found the garlic chicken Kiev. See you soon, bye!